Great. What's up, everybody? We're back again. Wouldn't be a stream without some audio issues, right? I learned from the best. Thank you, Josh Roars. Um, but anyways, welcome again to the second iteration of the 3x3 tournament draft for Siege and DC Comics Legends. With me tonight, I got, you guys know him, you guys love him, the great Mr. Zubaz. What's going on?
How we doing tonight? We're back for round two.
Round two, we got one less team this month. One less team this month, and but we have three new captains. So half of the captains are actually brand new to picking. So I think that could shake up some things here. What do you think? I mean, three new captains, three new blood up there.
I think so too. I think the other thing is we're definitely splitting up some teams from last month based on who the captains are. So that'll make things more interesting as well.
I agree. We have um, all three of the alliances that are participating are represented in the captains. So um, that's actually really nice. So what we're gonna do here, real quick, we're trying to start on a debt. We got a super strict timeline here, so we're gonna go ahead and run through the rules real quick. Most of you guys are already familiar with the rules, but we're gonna go ahead and go through them again, just for any new watchers and newcomers to the stream. So we're gonna go ahead and get those up on the screen now. So the first rule is it's a $25 buy-in. So each participant. It puts in $25 into a pot. Actually, all 15 participants have already paid up, and it's all in the bank of the 3x3 Siege tournament. So that's awesome. Rule number two. Go ahead, Zubaz. Go ahead and explain this one.
Rule number two. What do we got here? What's our second rule?
They have to record all their matches.
Oh yeah, we got to record every match here. It's the only way to kind of keep that fair. There's definitely a lot of options in terms of how you can record your matches, but we want to make sure that we've got no hacking going on, no cheats or anything like that. So that's a pretty basic. Just record everything. We could watch them all later.
Exactly. And then rule number three, the third rule here is the captains. So we mentioned those captains here just a few minutes ago. They are the highest placing Siege participants from the month before. So um, they're all top 10 players. I think, yeah, all five of the captains this month were top 10. I think they all were top 8, actually. So five of the top 8 Siege players are picking their teams, um, and picking, their fate, if you will. Um, and what we got is the last rule here. Um, it's kind of self-explanatory,
Snake
but
draft.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to be drafting snakes tonight. So that's what that means: pythons, vipers, cobras, anacondas, and we're going to be picking them starting with whoever goes first. We'll have the first pick in the first round, and then they'll get the last pick of snakes in the second round, and then we'll just kind of snake through until everybody's got 3 team members.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what's neat about this one is, um, there are, I would say, in snake drafts, my favorite position in the snake drafts would probably be like either the last pick of the first round. Well, you have the first pick of the first round because you get arguably the best available player, right? Or the second
Right.
to last or last pick of the first round, because then you're guaranteed to kind of get, um, two good players. So with that being said, we're gonna actually go ahead and we're gonna jump in and start the draft about a minute early. So we yeah. So sorry, I had a little bit of a brain stoppage there, but without further ado, here are this month's captains. Um, let's roll the tape.
Again, these captain screens are amazing.
Yeah, shout out again to Josh there, um, on the video here for the captains. So congratulations, Empowered, Sheriff Lobo, M4, Loot, and Almost Deaf. You guys were the top placing siege members. There is a name off of this list that should have had a pick in this draft, but he decided to abstain from this month. So we'll let him fall away to his crown peacefully in his throne. Um, but again, if you guys know, you know. But again, shout out to Josh. Josh actually does an incredible amount of help for me with these graphics, with the screens, with the videos that you're about to see as we do the draft. So shout out to Josh. Thank you so much for your help. Shout out to Zubaz being here 2 times in a row with me. I appreciate that as well. It kind of helps feel
Always. I've been gearing up for this for a full month. So
there you go. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna kind of go ahead. It's 6:45. The draft is on. Empowered is on the clock. And you know what? He did not even hesitate with his first pick. So let me go ahead and make sure everything is valid in the draft room, and then we'll start the draft off with the bang. Okay. Uh, and I gotta tell them when they're up and whatnot. But so here we go. The first pick of the first round, Empowered from the Guardians, selects.
there we go. That is going to be a huge choice for a couple reasons here. I'm waiting until it kind of flashes on the screen for everybody. But yep, we got Burger. That's, Burger is already sitting on an L5 Blackfire, an L5 Jericho. When you're drafting here, drafting that roster makes sense. You've got a good player who kind of comes from the M4 school of how to play Siege. So I think that's a really top choice right there.
I agree. I think there's a little bit back history to this pick here, which if you followed the 3x3 last month, you probably would realize this is a pairing. They were paired together last month, and they actually placed second.
Oh, nice.
Right? Empowered and Burger were on the same team, so they kind of get two out of three back on the same team to run it back. So that's going to be a good one. There's some there's some banter going on in the chat room, so that's a good one. I think Empowered and Burger, like you said, that L5 new tunes already. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Blackfire go Rebirth 1 before the Siege actually starts in 2 days. That wouldn't surprise me. I feel like that would be a great pick for Burger, because she does do a ton of damage. But we're kind of moving here, and with the second pick in the 3x3 draft, Sheriff Lobo picks. That I just spoiled it. Shoot.
Sheriff Lobo was, I believe he was the first pick of the draft last month, right? Now he's got a chance, and he is picking Hate Mail.
Yep.
All right, picking Hate Mail, getting that owl connection started up for Sheriff Lobo's team.
Mm-hmm. So,
and we're talking rosters again. Hate Mail's another guy that you're drafting a big roster there. He's already got high-level Jericho, high-level Blackfire. He said he plans to RB5. I pretty much think everybody this month. So.
Yeah, we've heard that from Hate before, I think, though. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I will say Hate already has a Rebirth 3 Starfire, and I think Starfire is going to be I think Starfire actually is going to be the tune of the month this month, because that AoE nuke at Rebirth 3, Rebirth 4, Rebirth 5, that thing, it's going to kill everything. I mean, it can't crit Blackfire, but not many people have Blackfire except for Hate Mail and Burger, and then maybe a select other people not in this tournament. So That
Yeah, and she pairs
is
so well with Lex, and Lex is just like he's gonna be always a siege leader that you're gonna have to deal with, and that pairing is gonna
exactly.
be very, very good.
Yeah, and she's gonna do a lot. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. So good pick, Sheriff Lobo. Sheriff Lobo. Congrats on getting hate mail there. Hate mail was the second overall pick last month as well, and I think Josh had to carry him a little bit, so maybe you can get better results out of him. Anyways, on to the next one.
I did hear actually we did get some medical news kind of just before the draft that was one reason that Josh is not participating this month is he actually has a broken back from carrying his team so much. So
he
that's one of the reasons that I heard.
that's what I heard as well. He had a little bit of back problems, so hopefully that that gets rectified and he's okay going forward. But M4 he's made his pick. Let's hope I don't spoil it again this time. And here comes M4 coming in with the number 3 overall pick in the first round. Here it goes. There it is.
M4, he does love his owls, so you knew that that was coming as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good
And we
one.
got M4 taking
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye is a kind of one of those perennial top 20, top 15 players and arguably in that top 10 regularly as well. So, M4, like you mentioned, he likes to keep his owls, right? So he likes to keep those guys
He
close
does.
and go for that. So I think that's a
I
really,
am a
really good pick
huge
there.
fan of that team. I have actually gone on record before as saying that Hawkeye is my favorite owl. M4 is probably my second favorite owl. So that's going to be a popular team.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a scary team. Cuz yeah, those are anytime here's the thing. Anytime you pair anyone with some of these top players, a lot of the time as long as kind of styles and personalities mix, their um their game gets elevated, right? Because you're
Right.
getting, advice, you're getting help from these top level players. So it's really really good here. Um Loot didn't waste any time. So Loot put his pick in and he is ready to go. So let me go ahead and let almost know that he's on the clock and we will go ahead and roll that. So Loot with the fourth pick. Here we go. Roll the tape. Fourth pick in the 3x3 draft. Loot selects. There it is. So the
It is
first,
never a bad move
never a
to
bad
draft
move.
somebody that's got an RB5 bonus tune.
Exactly. That Rebirth 5 Huntress is gonna come in clutch, I think, um for Loot here. And I think that I was talking to, I forgot who I was talking to, but I think that while Starfire I think is going to be the MVP of this siege, I think that Huntress is going to be that underrated character because if Starfire leaves anybody with like a sliver of health, Huntress will trigger and take them out, right? So
Yeah,
that AoE
absolutely.
nuke
And
and
I
then
think
Huntress
also going
goes.
to be pretty important here is Costly has his brand new Huntress emoji, and he is just going to be using that in every single chat
Yep.
room that you see, every single stream. It's going to get in people's heads.
Yep, I think you're right. I think it's gonna go ahead and um like you said, it's gonna get in people's heads. He's gonna start using that crit emote. Shout out to Costly with those awesome new emotes. He's already got it. He's already blasting it in the chat over here. So um yeah. So these guys I think are not they're not messing around and they're just the picks are flying in. So we're gonna go ahead. Almost has
Right.
back to back picks here. And with the fifth pick in the 3x3 draft, which is also the last pick of the first round, congratulations to this player. Let me make sure I have the right pick right there. Okay, yep. So we're going to roll the vid. Almost Def selects. There it is. The first Guardian off the board.
All right, Vagrant Soul going to Almost.
Vagrant Soul going to Almost. That is going to be um, a great pairing. Almost has literally improved his draft stock so much so that he was the number one captain this month. He's gone from top 20,
Yeah,
top
and
15,
he was
top
the number
10.
one captain because he finished third in Siege. So many people don't know who Almost is. He's flying under the radar somehow. And let me tell you, you have to put some respect on the man's name. All right? Do it. Acknowledge him. It is time, and Almost is here, and he's one of the best leaders in the 1500, and he is a force to be reckoned with in this 3x3.
I could not agree more. Almost Def. Shout out to that guy. Highest ranking player in the 3x3. Great job. Picking Vagrant. Vagrant's a monthly top 10 player, right? Vagrant was a captain. Excuse me. Vagrant was a captain last month. If that tells you anything, that he's a monthly top 10 player. So that's a powerful duo right there, and almost didn't again kind of the theme for tonight. These guys aren't messing around. I think these guys all must be East Coasters and trying to go to bed or something. I don't know. But almost put in his second pick, and this one, this one may surprise some of you. So with the first pick in the second round, Almost Def selects.
It's going to be a real thorn in M4's side.
Well, before we get to that, Almost Def picking Streets Ahead. Before we get to that, M4 picking Streets Ahead. Okay, Streets Ahead, fantastic Siege player. Right on that, like that 8 to 15 range all the time. Like always 8 to 15. If you guys don't remember, a little bit of a history, Siege history for you guys here. 2 months ago, Almost Def fell victim to a hit contract. A hit contract that was put out by said Streets Ahead, who then also failed the hit contract. Both of them just barely missed the top 10. So
Grandpa
that
Owl snuck in there.
he did. He snuck in right in there. But I mean, that's a phenomenal pick there. You have three guys right there that in their last three sieges averaged place in the top 12, right? So
And that is also a 1500 Guardians Owls, like one of each on that team. So maybe if that
mhm,
team wins, we get peace on Earth, essentially. Peace
that
peace
is,
among all the alliances.
shout out to Almost for diversifying his roster. Let's see. So there's again there's a little bit of drama because there's two owls picking after Almost, and both of them are like scrambling for their pick now. Um, so here goes the next one. Loot's pick is in. I'm gonna tell M4 he's on the clock. M4 on the clock. But here comes the second pick of the second round. Loot picks. Where's the video? Loot picks.
Speaking of time zones, God knows what time
Speaking of,
zone Pingzo is even in right now, but we're glad to have him.
yep,
1500 member, former Owl, but another 1500 member. Let's do it.
let's do it. Pingzo, welcome to the 3x3. What a month to come in and you get your good buddy Loot. Your good buddy Loot as the team captain. So we got Loot, Costly, and Pingzo. Now this is Pingzo's first 3x3, his first appearance in the 3x3, but he's not a stranger to Siege, right? I mean, this man plays Siege every month. He's right, he's right in there. Um, it's a good one. It's a good one there. So, um,
And you know why these are really good picks by Loot? If you'll notice, he has drafted two 1,500 members. And I don't know, a lot of people know this already, but we're going to repeat it again. The 1,500 had more members in the top 20 last siege than any other alliance. So it just makes sense to draft 1,500 members.
it just please center the names. Josh wants me to center the names because he's going to be picky. Yes, most members than any alliance in the top 20. Good call out there. That was the 1500. So why wouldn't you pick more of them, right? Um, good call out there, Zubaz. Great call out there. Um, again, I mean, these guys are flying through it. These guys are flying through the the draft here, and M4 has his pick in, and I don't know if this will be a surprise to some of you, but here we go. We'll run it with the third pick in the second round. M4 selects.
I am actually unfamiliar with this player.
This player, he's kind of under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Um, he kind of flies under the radar a little bit. He kind of chills. He doesn't really go for the big wins. He just kind of coasts there. In that top 15. But he has won a siege before, so you can't sleep on him. You can't sleep on him. So
You cannot sleep on a former Siege winner. You cannot sleep on a 1,500 Siege expert, as we all know. You can't sleep on a former Owl connection with M4 Hawkeye and DaBoy. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to enjoy on that team. I think that of all the teams so far, that those guys kind of know each other the best and have the most
mhm.
established relationship, and that's going to be really clutch in getting them through this siege.
And M4 is agreeing with you, by the way, in the draft room and in the chat here. He was the last person on the board with a some sort of owl connection. So against his better judgment, he picked him. So congratulations to DaBoy for getting drafted. He didn't go undrafted there, but we got two. We got two Guardian members left on the board. Sheriff Lobo has made his pick, and man, this draft is. I mean, we might set a record 20-minute draft. That's pretty quick. But with the fourth pick in the second round, let me find the video here real quick. I'll roll it for you guys. Sheriff Lobo selects that. I spoiled it again. Driven. Now, if I remember correctly, Driven was on. This is interesting. So Driven last month was on the same team as Empowered and Burger. Okay, so Sheriff not only picks a stud in Driven, but he stops the team that got second place last month from running it back. Right? He puts the stop brakes on
It's a
that.
brilliant move.
It's a brilliant move.
Absolutely brilliant move to break that apart.
Exactly. Now, Sheriff, that's some big brain type stuff because on the fly, I didn't even realize that. So shout out to you. And then you know who it is. This man, he's getting picked with the fifth pick, the last pick in the draft here. But let me roll his video real quick because put some respect on this man's name.
Kalen has an RB300. He's talking about it in the chat. I think a lot of people didn't realize that. When you've got an
Mm-hmm.
RB3 bonus tune, you should probably announce that earlier.
Yep. So there we go. I mean, these are some teams. I think a lot of there were. I think the first three picks everybody kind of had in mind, and then I think after that is where this draft was a little bit different than last draft, where it was very out there. Anything could happen. Um, and shout out to the captains. Great drafts. You guys have your teams. Good luck to none of you, except for M4 and Hawkeye. But good sportsmanship. Good luck to all of you. Just a little bit less luck than our team. But Zubas, what do you think?
I'm just going to go ahead and just
thoughts.
say no, absolutely terrible luck to all of you across the board. I hope that none of you make the top 20. I hope that something drastic happens and we get a bugged siege. I really just want to see this whole thing fall apart.
No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do that. But never mind. We're not gonna say that. So first looks. You know what they do on kind of draft recap shows and things like that. First thoughts. What are you thinking? Looking at these teams. If you had to look at these teams and say that's the team that I'm gonna pick, what would you think? What would you look at?
My immediate choice is I think it was an advantage that came from doing well in last siege that got him the last pick of the first round. But I see that almost team as having just really consistent throughout. I do like the idea of having one guy in each alliance because you can kind
Mm-hmm.
of bring things. It's like, oh, I saw this in my chat. I saw this in my chat. You could kind of do it all together. I really like that team. But again, they're all these are the best of the best. So they're all going to be good, and that would be my pick off the top of my head. I just this event, as well as most events, are essentially just money laundering schemes for M4. So you can never count out M4. You
FBI
can never,
agent
you
listening
know,
to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
this is just everybody funneling money into M4's bank account and his child's college education, which is great, wonderful child. So again, if I was looking at two teams, that would probably be my top two, as kind of vying for the top spot.
Okay. I objectively, obviously, as a participant myself, I do have to take an objective look at this. Um, Looking at these, obviously, I want to say my team's gonna win, right? But I think I agree with you. The strongest on paper, if you put together three top 12 players that are consistently right there,
Right.
like I said, their draft average is top 12 over the last three sieges. Um, that's a big deal. If you can get three people that score, I think I ran the numbers last month, and they score 29, 80, and above. If all three of them score above that, that will be a winning score for this tournament. Okay, doesn't mean they'll win the siege, but you will win this tournament with scores like that. So, shout out to the captains, Empowered, Sheriff Lobo, M4, Loot, Almost Deaf. Thanks for making it to the draft. I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your busy Friday nights or your bedtimes and doing that. Shout out to all you guys for coming out and watching the draft again. There's a comment in the chat that says that somebody is the better Lantern player. He did use a rebirth, or he did use a Guy Gardner to beat all like Wonder Girl and all that, but we don't talk about that. Shout out to all you guys. I appreciate Costly. I'm not talking about my team. I am talking about Almost's team. But I shout out to you guys. I know there were some subs that I missed. M4, thank you for the sub. Costly, thank you for the sub. If I missed anybody else's subs or anything like that, I apologize and I missed that. Please don't hate me. But thank you guys all again for coming back out. If you guys want to come back in probably about an hour and 15, hour and a half, I think I'm gonna do a short DC Legends stream in about an hour and a half. I got to take the dog out, do that sort of thing. But I wanted to get this out for you East Coasters. So thank you Zubaz, for coming on again. Your
Yeah,
analysis is
absolutely.
always
Shout out to Kelsey. If you're listening to this, we will have our first date next week instead of tonight. If you are
there. You
listening to
go.
this, we have way more in common than I thought. So that first date is going to go well. But I don't think you're listening to this, and so I'll see you next week.
Also, everybody, in case you guys didn't know, Zubaz, he as he just mentioned, prolonged a first date. So shout out to him. I mean, twice, double shout out to him. He put out a first date, put off a first date to come be here on here for you guys, right? He's not here for me. He's here for you guys. But I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Like I said, if you guys want to tune back in about an hour ish, there'll be a little bit of DC Legends action. Might play some PvP. Might just boring do some raids, but see how many glitches we can get on
Might
legendary
play some
bosses.
Fortnite.
We might play some Fortnite with some DC Legends skins, but we'll check it out. But anyways, thank you guys all for coming. I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Good luck to the teams and the contestants, and have a great weekend. Peace.